The more that you reveal your pain or your need, the more people may take advantage of you. This is an unfortunate truth about human beings. It does not always happen, but it is common for customers to mistreat sellers, especially when we make emotional mistakes. For example, the more that you demonstrate need, the more that you will tend to attract dishonest prospects. Potential customers may string you along, trying to get valuable advice without paying. This behavior, unfortunately, hinders confidence and success. However, there is a way to remain positive-minded, unbothered by the emotional turmoil of everyday life. In this video, you will discover how not showing your weak point can become a strong point. You will discover how to control your negative emotions while seeking out such emotions in customers. Watch this video to the end to discover 3 simple ways to act like nothing bothers you, to project confidence without looking arrogant. In the next few minutes, focus on my words and avoid daily distractions. Come with me as we apply ancient Stoic philosophy to solve modern sales challenges. Imagine yourself as a tree in the midst of a storm. The leaves may flutter and the branches may sway, but the trunk remains solid, deeply rooted in the earth. This silent resilience is a foundational teaching of Stoicism. By acting as if nothing bothers you, you are not denying the storm, but choosing not to let the rain soak you and the wind knock you down. Instead, you are the master of your own fate, firm, strong, and serene in a sea of chaos. Let's take an example. A customer says, "I'm not interested, we already have a provider." You might feel tempted to explain why you're better, to persuade, to push. Instead, the Stoic seller reacts without emotion. In your mind's eye, picture your next encounter with this type of objection. Envision yourself finding the strength to pause, take a breath, and ask, "I understand. Out of curiosity, what's working well for you right now?" This response shows confidence, lack of need. Thus, think of yourself as seeking to understand, rather than trying to uncover a sales opportunity. This type of language facilitates, invites customers to reflect, openly and without considering a selfish agenda to sell. Instead, invent ways to help potential customers consider their current situation as an outside observer would. And to do this with you as their witness. By seeking the true meaning behind their words, you give customers the space to reflect without becoming defensive. By projecting a lack of need, you appear as you are, confident. By allowing customers to feel how unbothered you are, they are free to act in surprising ways. By allowing them to object to your words, you stand apart from most sellers. In fact, the more that you avoid needing and act like nothing bothers you, you will begin to question, what is a true objection? The Stoic seller is always guarding his or her mind. This means recognizing objections for what they are. Emotional expressions worthy of exploring, confirming. A Stoic seller sees words like, "I'm not interested," not as rejections, rather as opportunities to challenge. For example, responding, "When you say you're not interested, is this because you don't experience the issues that I mentioned? Or you do, but it's not a priority?" Challenging with questions means responding with curiosity rather than defensiveness. It means not falling victim to our own needy mindset. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In sales, this means choosing how you interpret the words of others, being careful, mindful about understanding the other person. Going forward, will you choose to see such words as a barrier or as a signal to explore? Remember, We Stoic sellers guard our minds, not merely to sell better, but to build resilience, clarity, and confidence as a means to sell better. One of the biggest causes of anxiety is believing that bad outcomes are waiting for us in the future. We won't meet quota. We won't close the deal, causing more strife with you and your partner. Or food will not be put on the table next month. We rightly fear bad circumstances will appear, but the Stoics did not fear their partners having an affair and asking for a divorce, nor that something bad will happen, such as going bankrupt, because the Stoics thought differently. The Stoic seller realizes one day we fear one of these problems, and the next day another, and another. The path of life guarantees being given a handful of problems. Thus, Epictetus's proposal is as radical as it is effective. He practiced the belief that all which is feared has already happened, literally believing in unwanted problems or challenges. Thus, what could be worse? In this way, the Stoics shaped their mindset, their spirit, to develop coping strategies, so when problems occurred, they could move forward with heads held high. Thus, write down everything that you fear. Next, meditate on these as having actually happened. By expecting the worst, we give ourselves the chance to quiet our mind and to divorce ourselves from needing certain outcomes to remain emotionally stable. In fact, expecting the worst gives us a chance to discover the message beneath the surface-level message, the deeper, hidden meaning of what seems superficial. Opportunities can sometimes be clouded by what you think you hear. It depends on how you choose to listen as a habit. How you listen can be like a thick fog, blocking you from hearing a customer's true message. Consider how you can apply what I've shared today. Leave a comment below sharing your sales philosophy and challenges, and consider sharing this video and subscribing for more. See you next time.